Welcome to A New Life with Woody. I thank y'all for tuning in today. So I got here my homeboy, Lavelle. Y'all probably remember his face from the video that went viral on my page. A lot of people said I stole the video. Didn't happen. My homeboy sent it to me to post. This is Lavelle. So Lavelle, introduce yourself to the people.
Hey, yes, it was really what my man said. Just wanted to fix that, address that issue. Yes, I actually gave my man a video. What happened was I was on my way from daycare. My daughter had, you've seen the whole video, what happened. And when I actually looked at it, it was funny to me. Now, what happened, it wasn't supposed to happen like that. Trust me. As far as my kids and everything, I'm pretty selective with things I say around them, try to, but it just slipped out. And she said what she said. I figured it was funny. And I was like, this might be something, whatever. So I gave it to my man. I was like, hey, post it on your page, man. And he did. And it went viral. Wasn't expecting that. So, yeah, that's pretty much happened. So that's pretty
just
much
to clear the air. But anyhow, so this guy right here, him and I met back in I think it was 2018.
I want to say, 2017, 2018.
Yeah, I was locked up back then, and he happened to be a CO at the prison I was at. You know, I tell you what, he's not that typical type of guy. He's not the police. You know, he did his 8 and he hit the gate. That's what I like to say. But him and I became, pretty tight, kicking it on a regular basis, and developed into a friendship when he left. And it brings us to here now in his house right here, hanging out, doing our thing. But today we want to talk about a few things. Mm-hmm. All right. Tell the people, start out from the beginning. What was your life like growing up? Where'd you grow up at?
Well, being a fact, I'm from a small little town called Lockport, Illinois. It's a city outside Chicago, west side. It's about 20, 30 minutes away. But that's where I grew up at. My mother married my father, my stepfather, raised me since I was a baby. And we ended up being the fact that he was in the military. He was stationed in Norfolk. So I want to say he was on SHUA duty at the time. So we stayed there for a little bit. But when he actually got us a place to stay at, then we finally moved in. We moved to Virginia then. I was raised both my parents. My parents were strict, raising a Christian family. So it was pretty strict to a certain extent. Yeah. That was it.
So look, what made you first think about going into law enforcement?
Honestly, I never thought about it. Just something just happened.
Because you don't fit the persona of somebody. You don't have that mentality. You don't have that get up. You don't have any of that. Yeah. So where did you start your law enforcement career at?
I want to say probably my background, me being in the military. Okay. I was in the Marine Corps.
Thank you for your service.
Appreciate that. Appreciate it. I want to say that's probably where it started from. And being how Marines are, they're real close knit. And as far as when it comes down to discipline, that might be out of all the branches to go to, Marines is probably the last one people want to go to.
Yeah, it's hard.
That's the main
hard.
one.
They tough and they gritty, man.
Well respected, very respected. It's so respected. You can go to their boot camp, and if you was to get out there and want to transfer to another branch, whatever, you can do that without going to boot camp. So that's how serious it was. But I want to say, just being that, having that kind of discipline, and being Marines and being so organized,
focused.
Yeah, that's what I kind of want to do. So when I got out, I think what job that kind of coincides with that type of job.
So that's why you chose to go.
Yeah.
So your first job was as being a deputy in Norfolk, right?
Yes.
Okay. How'd you like that job?
Honestly, it was okay.
It was?
I guess the time I came around there was at a trying time as far as the people that was in charge at the time. But other than that, I actually enjoyed it. Sad part about it was I kind of enjoyed the inmates more than I enjoyed the people I work with.
That's what I was getting ready to get at. So they say, I forget the exact percent, so y'all don't bash me for this, but they say everybody knows 1 in 3 people know somebody who's a relative or a friend of a friend who's locked up. So when you went and had you already known somebody that was locked up?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Quite a few people. Funny part about it was when my first day working there, I literally seen a lot of my boys that was locked up. haven't seen them in a long time. I thought they just went somewhere else or whatever the case was. And I wasn't here anyway. So, like I said, I was stationed in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. So when I finally came back, when I actually had a job, a lot of people I thought about, they was actually where I was working at.
Yeah. So my biggest thing, you know, when I first met you and I seen you, I said, there's something different about this guy. You know, he has that persona that, like, you know, he sees things, but he don't see things. He walks a certain way. And, you know, you became the guy that everybody looked forward to coming on their shift. When they for real, like, we looked forward to you when you came to work because we knew we was going to have a chill day. Things were going to be relaxing, you know, and we could do what we do. But at the end of the day, you know, I respected you enough to tell you when I first, that day when he was at my bunk with the pains, and I told you, I said, I thank you, man, because you ain't like the rest of the people here, all that work here, because you tend to stick to the belief that, you know, we are people in here. You know, my biggest thing is that the police or the officers, they look at you at a certain way. So what was your biggest take back of working in the Department of Corrections? Like, as far as the regrets, like what things that you didn't like that you seen that went on that you want to talk about?
That's there's so many things to talk about when it comes down to that. As far as myself, I can just speak for myself. I really think the way my demeanor and the way I carry people, the way I carry them, because I've seen it a lot. I've seen it in my own family. Like I said, I'm from Chicago, and being that my uncles, all of them was affiliated. You know what affiliated is? They was in the game. They were GDs. But I've seen a lot of things that kept me away from it, but a lot of things I did see that actually came to the house. But that's what I really think where that mentality came from, seeing how they were. But at the same time, as I got older and older, got more mature, but just because I seen what I seen, I feel like I had to do the same thing either.
Exactly. So you didn't want to go down that road.
No, I didn't want to do that.
And
I wanted to make a change myself.
Look at you now.
Yeah.
Look at you now. You're set, man. You good, man.
Blessed. So, with that being said, I'm very one of the kind of people, whatever. I'm real big on respect. So, at the same time, I never looked at somebody because of what they did, get themselves landed. To be honest with you, I did a lot of things too. They could have got me in jail. I just didn't get caught. Yeah. And a lot of things I did, I learned from my uncles and stuff. So, if I did do dirt, I did it by myself. I can tell on myself. So,
no, you definitely ain't gonna tell yourself.
Yeah. So, with that being said, I just think what I've seen and just being respect. Like I said, I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So I could have been doing the same position you was in. Just, you know what I'm saying, just didn't happen that way. But yeah, that was it. Just my whole big thing was respect. And because you're locked up, you're still human at the same time.
Exactly.
So, yes.
You know, my whole bid, you know, I was well respected. You know, I did my own thing. I stayed out the way. You know, I had a little saying that this old head told me: you walk fast, you talk slow. You know, so you don't want to walk up on something, you don't want to talk about something. You know, your time in law enforcement, what is the most craziest thing that you've witnessed or been involved in?
Craziest thing I've witnessed. I want to say maybe the fights. I can say that, speak upon that. Now, these fights, it's a regular fight because you got to think about it. You got to have a whole nother mentality to have while you locked up. It's like survival in there. So when you see a fight in there, it looked like a murder scene. It looked like weapons was involved. It looked like somebody got shot, but it went up the hands. Yeah. Hands and feet, if you want to say that. And you can go to a block where it happened at, like, especially on the 7th floor. The 7th floor was the max security floor in the city of Norfolk. And those cells was half the cells they were on the other floor, which meaning that there was a cell within a cell. So instead of having an open bay, it was pretty much half the block was open, but behind that other half was cells. Okay. So it wasn't enough space in there. So you can just imagine how stressed people were inside there.
People sleeping on the floors.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Yeah, you just someone with the hand space in there, they'll put you on a stacker bunk.
Yeah, stacker bunk.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I was trying to say, craziest scene when I seen so much blood on the floor, like puddles of it, just puddles. It was just like, wow, that's crazy. And it wasn't no weapons used. It was just hands.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but as far as what I experienced, I'll never forget it. I want to say this happened May 9th, 2007. I just graduated like a week prior before I came out to work. And so happening, I ended up having to do a TDO run. That's pretty much doing a run where the inmate that might have to
medical run, basically.
Yes, outside of the jail where the facility can't tend to their needs.
Yeah, to like the outside of hospital.
So I had to take a guy. Me and his female had to take this guy to the Hague Medical Center. It's HAGE. It's off of Bremerton, in North Virginia. And I want to say I was getting him ready. I was getting all this paperwork ready. And the person that was with me, her name was Officer Phillips. She don't work there no more, but you see this, shout out to you. Anyway, she was getting a vehicle ready, and I got the guy ready. Things day too. He's still out there to this day too. But I noticed one thing. He kept complaining how he had to use the bathroom. So not to mention, when thinking about it, I'm freshly certified officer. When I went to go pick him up,
you green.
Yeah, I'm green. I noticed, and I looked through the block because you can actually see in the block. I seen him use the bathroom, so it still didn't register to me what was going on. We make a long story short, we get him ready. We go, we take him. We get to the facility, and well, I'll skip one part. One thing he did, I got him chained all up and everything. One of his hands I didn't have chained up because he had a big casket around it. Couldn't put nothing around it. So my sergeant pretty much let me know, hey, do the best you can as far as apprehending. I mean, pretty much having contained and everything. So I did that, but that kept so big in his arm, there was nothing to go around that. Yeah. So that was it. We get there and we go on the third floor. We go into the doctor's office. We sit there. The doctor said he had to go take care of something. So he asked me again, can I use the bathroom? So I was like, let me see if it's okay. The doctor said, yeah, it's okay. You can go ahead and go. Now, this one thing started switch gears in a way because when I asked the officer with me, because she was more of a seasoned officer, but maybe she didn't know the procedure. I'm not sure or not, but the fact was she said, you got to go in there with him when you go take him to the bathroom. So I was like, yeah, I know that much. So took him to the bathroom. I asked him, what you got to do? Number one, number two. He said number two. So now I'm faced with an issue now. He got a boo-boo. So what do I supposed to do? Yeah. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to just loosen up your head cuffs as much as I can. You're going to stay on, but you got to do what you got to do. Take your jump off, do what you got to do. I'll turn to the side. As soon as I turned to the side, I noticed I caught my eye. He sat down. And about seconds later, he lunged up and got me by my neck. And I'm just as shocked as anything else. Like, I stood still. Like, I don't know what was going on in my head, but I just stood there and was like, what's going on? Like, what are you doing? Yeah. Then we just got going back and forth. Yeah, nice little scuffle in the bathroom. And we going back and forth. And I guess he didn't realize he wasn't overpowered me as he thought he was. He's a pretty big dude. Dude's probably about 6'4", about 2-something. At this time, I was fresh out the academy. I wasn't 200 yet, I don't think. But
you strong though.
Yeah,
but you work out.
Yeah, but still, the fact was this dude was a pretty big dude. Yeah. And I wasn't I've been in plenty of fights and been in plenty of scuffles, man. But this right here was a little different because as soon as we got outside I actually called for help and realized when he was trying to choke me out, I really had to fight back. So during this time, I had kicked the door open with my hand. It's like one type of door that you had to push the lever down. So I got the lever down, I pushed the door open. And as soon as I did this, he said, fuck this, I'm going to kill your ass. Just simple as that. And he started going for my gun. So now my alert is at an all-time high. I noticed the weapon couldn't come strictly out like that, but we have these holsters. They call triple retention holsters. So you had to press down a certain way, turn, then you can pull the weapon out. But from all the tussling and turning, my gun came out. And I had my hand around the handle the whole entire time, but I kept my finger straight on the trigger guard. So just in case the gun go off, it wouldn't go off because you couldn't pull the trigger. we kept going back and forth, back and forth. We was fighting this thing like an eternity, man. This was unreal.
And nobody's coming.
Nobody's coming. Nobody's.
That must have been terrifying.
But the thing about it was, it's people. It was people in there, but I guess they heard the scuffles too. So nobody come to see what's going on. They even try to help. So it got to a point when I actually got a chance to think. And when they talk about that fight or flight experience, that's real because everything was going on. I could not think for nothing. Like I didn't know what to do. So when I actually had a chance to think at the time, I do remember the 9mm we had. They were Smith & Wessons. They don't have safeties on them. But I do remember if the magazine is not inserted in there, the gun won't go off. It won't fire at all. Even if it's surrounding the chamber, it still won't fire. Okay. So what I did was I pressed the release button on the magazine.
Yeah.
And as soon as I released that, I felt a little better after that. But then it still got more crazy because he started to fight me even harder. Then he bit me. Oh. And he bit me on the side of my right side of my face. So now, with another dilemma, I guess from the intensity and everything was going on, I didn't really feel it, but I felt it. And adrenaline.
Yeah, adrenaline was going off.
He had actually, when he bit me, I kind of felt he had a nice chunk of my face in his mouth. And I didn't want to snatch away from him. I know he would twist him off my face. So when I felt it loosen, I mushed him off me. And he actually had my, got my, what you want to say, as far as my gun, I won't think about my weapon no more. So he actually had my weapon, and he pointed at my face. So just having a gun pointing at your face, it was like a real eerie feeling.
Of course, because you don't know if it's really, it could, chances are.
But the fact was, the magazine was still not in the weapon, so I know it was going to fire, just having a gun pointing at your face. I went back, got it from the training I've learned. It works. It works. So I got the weapon right back, whatever, and he tried to grab me again, but he grabbed my radio receiver. I snatched away from him. He took off running one way. I went in and get help. I went in and told Phillips. At this point in time, I want to say backup was called. My job was called. Norfolk PD was called. He actually had seen him, went back to go see where in the direction he ran into. And when I went in there, I actually seen him. I could have had a clear shot, but when I seen him, he didn't stop. He didn't go behind the wall. So I can't just start firing. I'm going to hit somebody else. Don't know who's back there. So, and I can do. So the only thing I did was set up like a little perimeter on the outside of the door and just sat there until backup came. About the time backup came, during this time, I want to say North PD was there. They had K9 unit there. Everybody showed up pretty much. So during this time, my face started bleeding because when he bit me, I wanted to get attended by the nurse that was there, cleaned me up pretty good, whatever. But having to find out, the guy, he barricaded himself in one of the offices that was there. And they finally got him out. So I've seen him again, but it kind of made me feel a certain way because was a reason for all that. Yes, was a reason for all that for. I didn't disrespect you. I didn't do nothing like that at all. So that's just so it don't matter how respectful you are to people. Sometimes people want to try their hand. So
it didn't work that time, man.
It didn't work that time, buddy. So, but you know, it's so crazy because this is kind of off the subject, but going to that, being CO, I actually had, when I left there, I was about to go to another prison, which is Deerfield. Happened to find out that's where he was at.
Oh, wow. So they wouldn't let you go?
It wasn't the fact he was there. I made a conscious decision not to work there because...
Oh, yeah. Ain't no
not the fact I was scared,
because
because the fact was I still kind of felt some way about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
absolutely.
If I would have went there, it wasn't... I would have just... Yeah. So you can kind of go where I'm going with that. So, yeah, I just made a conscious decision not to go, and I'm doing something else. Yeah, that was pretty much the experience with that.
That's crazy, man. You know, just being a CO, you know, in and of itself, dealing with inmates, you cannot, like you say, you can't be too comfortable.
No, you can't.
You know, anything can happen. And I've honestly thought about doing things to officers myself over my bid, you know, getting into altercations and get like wrote up for the wrong thing, or, you know what I'm saying, just getting blamed for something you ain't do, or just them being a straight asshole, you know, for real. Yeah. I've actually thought about that. Remember Conklin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about knocking him slap out several times. That dude right there, man, is just terrible. When you was there at St. Bride's, You know, when you first met me, what'd you think? Like when we first crossed paths.
Oh, she's like everybody else. I mean, you said you was a cool dude. Never had no issues with you. If I asked for you, you respect it. If I need something done, it got done. I never had no issues with you. But for anybody else, there's nobody at all. Never had no problem with nobody for the most part.
All right, so moving forward, so talk about some of like the petty things that you're seeing going on, that other officers may have viewed it as being big, but like you was like, what the hell, man? That's nothing. Or have you seen any other type of incidents that you was just questioning, like, really?
Petty. I can think of a few things. But you know what? The biggest thing I want to say anything about, I'm not going to say anything about it because somebody I know still works there. So I don't, if I say what I got to say, they might get fired. So I'm not going to say that one. But what I can say, I can talk about my personal experience. I left St. Bride's because I actually got a position to work with Norfolk Southern. And you know how hard it is to get into there.
Yeah.
Very hard to get in there. Killed the interview, got in there. Had to wait, had to get medically cleared for the thing I have an issue with. But and I'm going. I ended up leaving. I want to say 2019.
Yeah, 19.
Beginning,
I think you left in 19.
January 2019. Yeah, so I did that. I don't know what happened. I know I passed everything. My requirement, the requirements I had to do to be a conductor. I had to go to McDonough, Georgia, for that training. 3 weeks, pretty intense training. Passed all that, had to take a final test, passed all that, came back, and you had to work your territory. You're pretty much in, I want to say, Lambert's Point, and you have one in Chesapeake. It's called Port Lock. Everything is there is pretty much, you have to learn that yard, period. And I got to the point where I actually started learning that yard, had to go train into Lambert's Point. I'll never forget it. I'm actually on the engine, and the train, I forget what you want to call it, train master, whoever, yard master, whatever, they came up to me. He was like, I feel it come because I see a lot of people that came in around the time I came in, they were slowly letting them go, they was furloughing them. And that's what happened. He came on that train right before we were on the run, and I got let go.
News, man.
Gave me that news. So, yeah, so moving forward, I tried to come back, actually. I came back to St. Bride's, had an interview and everything, but as I went there, being the fact that I was a returning officer, one of the requirements you have to talk to the warden, and we had a new warden now.
New warden now,
and I can't remember. I think her name was Miss Watson.
It's Miss Watson.
Yeah, Miss Watson. Had a good conversation with her, like real good conversation. It was so good, I thought I was gonna get hired back. That's how good it was. Yeah. So, but to find out, I didn't get a call back, so I wanted to know what was going on, and they said they wasn't gonna hire me back. So now I want answers.
Absolutely.
Because before I left, it was a guy by the name of, I'll say he's a major. I want to say Major Terry. If I'm not mistaken, now he is the
assistant warden
there now. Yeah. He told me personally himself that if I ever wanted to come back, I could definitely come back. I never had any write-ups, never had no problems at all. Nothing. Period. I was well respected. I do remember one thing. The day, my last day there, actually, I went to my last week. I actually went and made an announcement to everybody over the speaker and told everybody my last day. You know how crazy that was? I got so much of a welcome,
from us,
a farewell, from the inmate, from the offenders there, than my own people I work with.
Yeah, I remember
literally,
that day.
Everybody stood up in the block on both sides and clapped for me. And when I went out into the block, I mean, it was nothing but love out there. Dapped everybody up, hugs, like it was love. I felt it, and it felt genuine. But when I tried to come back, I didn't let me back. So, and I'm not saying because I feel some way about it. I'm really not. I'm glad I didn't come back because I won't be in the position I'm in right now. I actually, St. Bride, appreciate it because thank you for that. But yeah. So, but when I did get the word back, it was something that was said. I want to say it was Captain Little. She said that I was so adamant about trying to be on a certain shift. And I was like, I tell you, the lies. Because the whole discussion about that was, I knew for a fact that to come back. I was gonna be on a certain shift, was the night shift, which I didn't care. I just know that when the morning position come up, whatever, I can go back onto it.
Yeah.
That's all I was saying. And that was the reason for me not coming back, because I was so adamant about being on a certain shift. Like, no. I really feel like the problem with the system is it's just like a taboo. The point is, people there are there so long, they're stuck there. So when somebody else finds something else better to do, so they say, they feel like, we don't want you no more. You turned your back on us.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And that's why people don't want to stay there, because how you treat people. And that's the problem. It's like their thing of the way of working, of trying to correct somebody, make sure somebody don't do nothing. That's so crazy, because when it come down to it, the officers are the most crookedest people that's there themselves.
So let's talk about that. They're crooked. We know that where all the cell phones and all the shit comes in through the officers. We already know that. That's not snitching. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
So what about like fraternizing? Like the officers have their, because I've heard stories about, you know, the wild parties and this and that, and this officer with this officer, and this it's like love triangle. What's the deal with that, man?
There's so much drama in there, man. Like, I've seen it. Let's say you might have somebody in there.
Let me stop you. Say, what happens when let's say a nicer looking woman starts working there? Is she like fresh meat? Is that what everybody do?
Yeah, it's crazy. You can look at the inmates. Of course, they're gonna see it's fresh meat, because it's
we
a
like
woman.
it. We like
yeah,
looking
they
at
ain't
it.
probably been with a woman so long, so yeah, they're gonna look at it like that. They're gonna shoot their shot. Because 9 out of 10, a lot of officers that do work there, whatever, do mess around with the inmates sometimes.
Yeah,
with the offenders.
They do.
So, but when it come down to officers, oh yeah, it's like fresh meat. All the guys do is sit there, whether they're in the cafeteria area, the lounge area where officers sit at to eat, talk about that. And it depends where you at too. In a booth, when we in a booth, you hear conversation talking about, oh yeah, you probably know what they be talking about. I'm gonna get that, and like, only thing they worry about is getting her. And when I say getting her,
you know what time it is.
Crushing. Yeah,
Yes.
that's pretty much it. So anytime a female comes in there, that's how it was. Who gonna be first to get her? It's like a cat and mouse game. Who gonna get there first? Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I know when a good looking CO used to come through, like you know, everybody, all the inmates are very suave. They're like on top of the game. They shoot their shot every time, and I've shot my shot. You know, you know, I've had some escapades, but at the end of the day, you know, do you regret working as a law enforcement officer?
No, don't regret it at all. No.
Okay.
I just gave me just more experience how to handle certain things and how I'm going to carry myself and continue to carry myself. Just seeing how inmates are treated by the officers there. And this one thing I still never got, though, because now, granted, if something happened, they will look out for each other. But one thing about it is some people do that job just for the power. Just for the power. And this, what I mean by that, because maybe back in high school, they wasn't nothing. They got picked on a lot. So now they're in a position where they can, in a way, tell somebody what to do.
Yeah.
Be in a position where they make somebody do something they don't want them to do. They can do it now. But you don't realize either, you got to think about this too. Some of them offenders that are locked up do come home. So what happens when you see them out in the street? The crazy thing about it is I ran into a lot of people. When I know when Military Circle Mall was open. Now that's the main mall you can go to. You definitely gonna see somebody.
Yeah,
It's like the hood
Norfolk's
mall.
big.
So yeah, you're gonna go there. You're definitely gonna see somebody. And you know, the crazy part about it was I ran into people I had words with, but the fact was I was respected. And what we had, me and that person that was locked at the time, I had an issue with. It wasn't nothing personal. It was something that had to get done. And
Exactly.
the thing about it was, we was out in the street, and it was something I remember, won't forget it. The dude having a visitation one time. I told him he had to go. Thing about it, you got other people that need to go in the visitation room too. And this is when they actually had the tablets and everything. When you actually do visitation over the tablets or the visitation over the phone. This is when you actually had to come upstairs and go to that floor, particularly, and be behind a glass wall.
Wow.
So I got other people waiting for visits too. That's the issue came from. Me and a guy got into it about that. I almost got into a fight about that. But seeing him out in the street, number love, hug, dapped up and everything, no problem. But some of the officers that I work with would see somebody and be like, oh, let's say Johnson was a person that was out there. Oh, that's Johnson right there. I was like, what's up, man? Go holler at him. He's like, no, man, I don't want him to see me out here. And the thing about you was spooked. He's scared. He was straight scared. One of my close friends to this day, like a brother to me. My man Marvin, aka
Sabir Abdullah.
Yeah, Sabir.
Yes, sir.
He came to the crib one time. He came to my house. And one of the dudes I knew and came to the house and that I worked with, main one. And I was shocked to where he was from. He from St. Louis, from the Show Me State. And I was there, but I was very disappointed, needless to say. So when he seen my boy, like he was hushed the whole entire time.
Of course.
And my boy Sabir, and I talked to him, he was like, yo, you mess with dude? I was like, that's my dude, man. Like, what's going on? And he told me what happened. And from then on, I was like, oh, I kind of seen why he was kind of standoffish, kind of being like distant. Because the other time he talking.
Yeah.
The other time he was just real quiet, not saying too much. He had to excuse himself.
He had an incident with him.
And I guess he didn't ever think that he would see him again. And
Sabir ain't nothing to play with.
He
is nothing to play with.
Yeah, he got a rep. So it's like, come on. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said.
Well, I'm glad that I met you. I got to see you my first day home.
Likewise.
You helped me move all my furniture, everything to my house, man, from my sister's house, man. I appreciate you for who you are, man.
Appreciate that.
You made a comment to me, man. You said, out of a lot of people, man, like I've been the same since day one. And that means a lot to me, man, because I value because you told me you don't consider me you consider me as a brother.
Yeah.
And I thank you for that, man.
Most definitely. That's what I'm gonna say one thing, because one thing, man, when I have my little girls, you seen them on the video.
I love them.
Dakota and Diddy, man, it's what touched my heart, touched my wife's heart, man. You have made them a painting with a character on it. I still got it to this day.
Yeah, for both.
I still got it to this day. Yeah. So I was like, he's like a brother, man. So pretty much my kids gonna refer to you as Uncle Woody.
I know that's right.
Uncle Woody. Yeah.
So moving forward, right? We're gonna start this guy a page, man, a YouTube page. He's got a lot of videos of his kids. He's gonna be different because he's like a single dad, but he's not single. His wife, she has a career, she's working, but he's pretty much doing everything solo during the daytimes and at long stretches and times. But he has a lot of funny moments he wants to share with everybody. So I'm going to help this guy start his channel and get himself out there. Once it's out there, I'll make of course. I'll make a little video giving his information to his page. But his two little girls are the most adorable. They're funny. And y'all seen the viral video. Y'all already know they're just subject to do anything.
Yes.
So check him out. I'm going to we'll put it together.
Yes, I'm actually working on it right now. But once I get everything, so like I said, we'll post do another video. I just put information out there, how you can follow me, subscribe to it. But yes, please follow that page because I feel like I have just the main thing is I also have other kids too. But I kind of feel like the biggest thing was that when I was younger, I really didn't know how to be a father at that time. I really didn't. And it's crazy because I look at single mothers now and man, salute to y'all. Seriously, salute to y'all.
That's right.
Because it's not easy.
Job,
it is hard. And being the fact kind of wife my job my wife does, it keeps her away. But I was blessed to actually let her do that. She wanted to do it. I was like, you go ahead and do that. This is my time, my opportunity to fix what I feel like I had a problem with. And that was pretty much being involved in my kid's life. Not saying I wasn't around. I was around. However, I feel like my only way to take care of them was through just monetary reasons. You know what I'm saying? Buying stuff for them and doing things like that for them. No, it's more than that. I'm in my 40s now, and I really feel like it takes more, and I'm actually enjoying it. So I think this is my time to reset. It's not, it ain't over with yet. I can pretty much start all over again for fresh, start my girls right now. So,
and the fact that these are your first two girls.
That's my first two girls. I got boys. I got 3 boys. And yes, and I'll never forget it, man. The day I found out that I just not make a girl for nothing. And the day we had a gender reveal and to find out that my next child, my wife, was going to be a girl, man, I broke down. It broke me down.
It broke you down. For you to break down, man, that's something,
and then
man.
I was blessed even more because we tried again. My wife, she wanted a boy. And Got another girl.
Got another girl.
Yeah, so I'm loving it, man.
Well, we're going to wrap this up today, man. Is there anything you want to say to anybody? You want to shout at anybody, man? Any message to anybody?
Shout out to my family and friends, man. The ones that's been there since day one. Shout out to you, man.
I appreciate it.
Shout out to, like I said, a lot of people that I keep close to me. They're not friends. I consider them as family because I don't really deal with a lot of people like that. So the ones that's out there that know who's family, y'all know who you are. And yeah, just stay safe out here. And like I said, stay tuned to my channel. The next video we have, we'll bring up.
I'll give y'all an update, man. We're gonna get it together and start posting the videos. Anyhow, man, much love, yo. Appreciate this. Y'all know what time it is. Let's do this together. Deuces.